Okay, everybody, welcome back to Talk of the Now podcast. And we are back and rolling. And Jason White is here again with his shiny white teeth.
Yeah, that's right.
What's going on, Jason?
Nothing much, man. Just hanging out, man.
Just hanging out. Well, I had another podcast that I posted last week. We hadn't posted in a while. Last month was the first month that I took an entire month from not posting a podcast. So I kind of got slack. Hopefully we didn't lose too many listeners, all three of them, whoever they are. I mean, I know it's your mom, my mom, and I think my wife are the subscribe listeners. No, I did kind of give a little as I said in my video, which I'm sure you watched, Jason. I didn't want to I didn't want to say the whole thing where I tell people every time we get on, like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
But I did say that, hey, if you can like, subscribe, and share, that will help us out. The more people that like it or subscribe to it or share it with friends or family that, hey, do you know a good podcast? Hey, here's one to listen to. That helps in the popularity.
So what you're saying is people should like, subscribe, and share.
That, yes.
Okay. We just make sure we didn't.
But only if you want to.
We just didn't mention that too much that you should like, subscribe, and share. Yeah.
Oh man, you watch those random ones. Like every time you want to say, for instance, oh, I wonder how. Let me go watch a review about this new camera that came out, and they go through like some 3-minute introduction and like, subscribe, share, da 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 da. If you feel like this, if you feel like the content is da 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 da, okay, I got to skip up to 7 minutes to actually get to what I came here for.
I know.
Of course, that's the beauty of this podcast, people. You get me and Jason. There's no script. There's no There's
nothing.
There's no script. This isn't
at all
script. I mean, it's just all improv. This is just me and Jason horsing around, which probably shows, but I don't care.
We are raw and uncut. Gene is from a fairly new studio.
Oh, I did mention that too. I'm in the new bunker here, where we have the printer. We have
somewhere hidden in the woods. Yes,
we have the bookshelf. There's my Beatles lunchbox, which I'm trying to sell. Maybe
shameless plug.
I've got the right there. Nobody that's hearing this can see that. I've got a little what do you call that little guy? The big boy.
Shoney's big boy. Yeah,
Shoney's big boy. It says big boy on it. So I guess they used to have I don't know if they have the big boys anymore. I mean, I could tell you last time I saw a Shoney's. For anybody under 40, that was like a sort of like a Golden Corral in a way, I guess.
Yeah, their breakfast buffet. We all remember the breakfast buffet.
Oh yeah, man. We certainly had one in college, and yep, it would.
There was one on 78. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that one's gone, long gone, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Although they did bring a Denny's to Snellville, the same town where that one was for a while. I assume the Denny's is still there. Denny's is probably a similar type of restaurant.
Yeah, nothing to really write home about, but yeah.
But although, believe it or not, this is going back to 1996, before some of our viewers, I'm sure, were born. I went to a Denny's in Daytona Beach, and it was so good. I don't know what it was about that day or why, but for some reason, I loved it. Okay, so anyway, Jason, let's talk about
Gene. Yes.
Jason has a lot going on in his life, everybody. I think maybe 2 episodes ago or something, the title was like Jason got a new job or something. I don't know. Jason got a job. He left the job. Now he got a new job. So you got a new job. How's the new job going?
New job's great. People to work with are great. The work environment's great. It's in a weird area of town, but
he has to drive to Alabama to get to it every morning from Atlanta.
I wish the ending was in Alabama.
It's down you probably get 30 minute miles roughly.
30 miles, yeah, but in the morning it doesn't take too long. Afternoon's not that bad. It actually takes me about the same time as it did to get to my old office of a company. We can't mention, company names, but
right.
That company was just on the other side of the county, and it took me almost the same amount of time as it does for me to drive from my house down to the airport, and I'm near Stone Mountain area, and drive down to the airport basically every day. And it takes roughly about the same time to get there and get home as it did to get across Gwinnett County. So yeah, it's going well. Yeah, it's going
Yeah.
well. The people are great. Honestly, it feels like a pay raise in the work environment. Honest, even though it was actually it's less than the last job I had, but
Yeah.
it's more than the job I had 2 jobs before. So
Hey, sometimes you got to go down the plane before you go up
that's right,
back up
right.
the
This
valley.
is just
So
an ebb and flow, Gene. Yes.
sometimes you got to take a step back to go a step forward.
2 steps forward and 2 steps back. Anyway, sorry. Um,
Easy there, Paul
yeah,
Abdul.
but yeah, it's going well. Like I said, I enjoy it. It's in the freight forwarding business. So how
As opposed to
everything
the freight backwarding business. I don't.
right because we don't want that. Yeah, we don't want it's not the freight fast forwarding business because that's just weird.
Okay, for the forwarding.
Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty good. It's how everything moves in the world. So it's a very essential job. So it's good.
Are you dealing with as in logistically speaking? Are you dealing with like everything from trains and big rigs or boats coming into America? Everything.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Everything you just said there, the whole supply chain. We even have the reason we're down by the airport is because they actually do air freight. And they actually keep air freight in the back in the warehouse in the back of our building. So I'm actually currently waiting on my my security clearance to be able to walk in the warehouse. Because I have to have a TSA security clearance, which also gets me TSA pre-check basically on the flights, which is nice. But it's a security threat assessment, STA they call
So
it.
once again, everybody, Jason, who is in the import-export business, as we've been saying this entire podcast, which we all know he's probably really a CIA agent, but his coverage. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you just blew my cover. No, no. So yeah, so I've got
Nepotel.
it's a pretty good. Like I said, it's a good job. Really small office again. Not as small as the one before, which was 4 of us. This one has 12 of us. So the new office, new office of the company 2 companies ago that I worked for 6 years is now inflated from 220 to 750. So
wow.
Wow. So yeah, it's definitely a step down in amount of people, but it's like I said, the work environment, the people are great. They're very understanding because this is really my first foray into freight forwarding. I worked for a steamship line before. Again, cannot name the company. But this is a completely different side of it because you're having to do just about a little bit of everything, from filing security clearance for customs to making sure that it gets delivered to a door, like somebody's company when you're here. So
your other company's called Eastern Airlines, wasn't it? Or was that Pan Am? I can't remember.
yeah.
Or was that
Yeah.
Arthur Ashe? I can't remember.
No.
Enron? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, one day I've heard there's some good books on those things. Like, is there a really good book out there about the whole Enron thing or something, or was it the?
I'm sure there is.
Yeah. Jason and I actually had a friend whose dad worked for Arthur Ashe, I believe it was. Was it not? But he wasn't involved in any of the bad stuff.
Arthur Ashe.
Was it Arthur Ashe or was it no, Arthur Ashe is a tennis player. I'm thinking of
I was
another
going to say, yeah.
Never mind, I'm an idiot. It was one of these scandals during the whole time of Enron or whatever. Maybe he worked for Arthur Anderson. Was that the name of the company?
Arthur Anderson. Yeah.
But they had some
financial
issues.
firm Arthur Anderson. Yeah.
At any rate, we're glad to hear you like it. That's good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Have you noticed if a lot of your workers are do they have long commutes as well?
Theirs are from south of Atlanta though, so they're not as bad.
So they live in other places like Noonan.
Yeah, down there. I'm the only one. I'm the only one from the north side of town. So
darn Yankee.
Mm-hmm.
Up on the north side. Well, that's good. I suppose if you ever have to go to the airport right after work, you won't have any trouble then.
Yeah, I already had to do it to pick up a family friend, so it only took me 20 minutes.
Yeah. Have you ventured over to the original Chick-fil-A yet?
No, I ain't going there.
It's somewhere down in that area, isn't it? Hapeville.
Yeah,
you're probably not far from Hapeville.
Yeah, it's not really a place I want to go frequent.
Go see Jeff Foxworthy's childhood home, maybe. Well, anyways, Jason has other news. as well. And you don't have to share that if you don't want to, Jason. But let's just say, as
Oh,
well as a
yes,
young
yes.
Philly,
Yes, I am. I am engaged to be married. Yes, this
yes,
summer. So,
Mr. Brightside here is engaged
mm,
to be married.
yeah,
Congratulations again.
yeah. Bless her heart. Anyway, yeah. So that's yeah, that's a good thing. It's gonna be it's just been crazy wedding planning. It's not too crazy, at least not for me. I just get the updates on what's been done from her
Mhm.
side. So
Have you chosen a maybe this may be early in the process, but have you chosen a what do you call it? A groomsman's cake?
no, no,
I thought of it.
actually,
Yeah.
no. I'm glad you reminded me. Um,
You're welcome.
well, I think my mom actually has
My
an idea
pleasure.
she's going to surprise me with on that one. So
Oh,
I'm,
okay.
I'm just going to let her have free reign. I don't really care.
I think I went with one that was my college, and I think I may have had a small bite of it.
Yeah, I remember yours. Yep.
Yeah, I went with just one that had the college logo on it, but kind of wish I went with a Braves one, but that's okay. It was nice to
Yeah,
get a picture of it.
the college one's more personal, I think. You
Yeah,
know.
it's usually something to do personally that you like or whatever. So Jason will obviously have a picture of a record player. I mean, it'll be a cake that looks like a record player,
A record player with a race car going around the record.
a
Yeah,
race car going around there.
yeah. We'll just do some. I can have an
That'd be cool.
old Dukes of Hazard cake with a
Oh man,
General Lee on it.
what if you
No,
could get somebody to do an F1 car, like just a
yeah, I'm not
actual
gonna.
car itself?
Hopefully, nobody will go through that much trouble.
That'd be cool though.
That would be cool, but yeah, I would not want
Cut
anybody to
into
touch
that
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, so it's gonna be, it's a, it's funny. Me and Gene talked about this a little bit on our own because Gene and I actually, you know, can stand each other's company outside of the podcast.
Usually.
Um, we talked about the worst part of the wedding planning is having to limit the guest list.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I can't tell you how much I would love to have a 500 person wedding because I would still probably have to leave some people out. I'm way too extroverted. I figured that out. But you just figure out who's important to you in your life right now, and aside from people that are actually blood related, which I have too many of, um, that's who you invite. And of course, the guy on the other part of this podcast here is going to be going to my wedding. So I'm just gonna make that announcement here over the airwaves that
Yes, I will be at your wedding.
Gene's invited.
Very, very, very thankful that you would say that we like each other's company, and I would be at your wedding.
Yes, of course. Um,
Just letting you know, Gene, you're not coming to my wedding, and I love you.
well, you have to be like I was at basically an extended family funeral. Unfortunately, this past weekend, which is I was raised in a small church my whole life, so I've got a lot of extra family that aren't related, but they're virtually family. And I had to kind of keep my wits about me when I was talking to people because not everybody there is going to be able to be invited. So it's kind of
This was a
changed my.
blood related funeral, though, right?
No, no, it
Oh,
was
it was
not.
not a blood related funeral.
No,
Okay.
this was our my friend good friend Benjamin's mom.
Oh, yes, that lady.
Um
I got you. I mean, wedding, funeral. Excuse me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's lay down funeral, not stand up. Um
Mhm.
but yeah, so it was kind of, it was good. It was a good time, a reunion with people, but I had to be very much on my toes with who I mentioned things to. Now, most people I know aren't going to be offended, but it's one of those things. I
Mhm.
think I'm more worried about it than somebody else would be. So,
Yeah, yeah. Well, as I
but
mentioned the other day, you'll get to a certain point, especially you'll get 6 months out of your wedding, and you'll be like, I totally forgot about Phil. I was going to invite him. I mean, I knew Phil for 5 years, and we were best friends, 3 years ago, and I totally forgot to invite the guy. You know, and there was a guy that I work with that to this day we instant message each other at work, and he's a decent friend, and I didn't invite him. I didn't even apologize about not inviting him, but looking back, it might have been a good idea to invite him. So I understand. And
yeah, and inevitably you're gonna leave people out. I get it. Our number is down. I'll just go ahead and say it, we're at 125. So, um,
yeah,
I don't know.
it's a decent number.
Last time I gazed at her list, I was like, okay, I'm okay. My list comes in under, because I'm gonna have more people. I'm from here. way back, and
Did y'all split the difference, or was it like you're having more guests than her invite?
I mean, it's gonna wind up me having more.
Gotcha.
Just because, like I said, I'm more extroverted, and I've got family that's all coming here from here, and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And the other part is, you can't invite everybody's kids, so cousins are invited, but maybe not cousins' kids, that kind of thing. Except for a few where I'm actually, know them or close to them. Um, and for that matter, kids in general, aren't going to be able to be invited. No offense, Gene. It's just how it is.
Well, I mean, I was going to bring the bouncy castle and put it into the reception hall, and
Hey,
but
you say that you make that joke, but her best friend Rachel, who's going to be her matron of honor, um, has 4 kids, and the youngest swears up and down that somebody told her there's going to be a bouncy castle there. So it's so funny. And of
there you
course,
go.
her youngest actually says she's coming to Jason's wedding, because I got to meet her for 4 hours one night, and she just totally is enamored with me. This little 2 or 3 year old girl, it's hilarious. She's like, I'm coming to Jason's wedding. So it's like, yes, I already have a fan.
Mhm.
But yeah, so it's gonna be a fun time. Fun time.
Did you ever decide on your DJ versus band decision? Or are you still looking into that one?
I'm still mulling it over.
Gotcha.
Um, Anybody who knows me knows that I love live music, and I'm going to watch live music all the time. But the whole idea is, a DJ can play anything you want, and a band, I love it. They interact with the crowd. It's great, but it might have to be a DJ in the end. Now, I do have some good family friends, one of which who's been in bands for a while, and his son plays guitar really well. Um, I mean, it's Randy and Aaron, um, and I'm going to approach them and say, hey, do you want to do a couple songs, maybe on just acoustic guitar or something, at the reception, just as kind of a fun thing,
Hmm.
Um, that's kind of my idea. Um, just because I just don't know about the band thing, and to get a band that I would want, a yacht rock style band like that, is going to be expensive.
Right.
Yacht Rock themselves are $5,000. Yacht Rock Review, the actual
Mm.
official company, Yacht Rock company,
Yeah.
and they're out of Florida, and you have to put them up at a hotel. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
So like they're
Well,
real rock stars. So anyway, so yeah, so I'm probably most likely going to go with a DJ, um, who will strictly play my playlist.
right.
Um, that
Well,
I
I'll bring my records, and I'll bring my and I'll do what I
yeah.
can. I only charge $300 a minute. So,
Yeah,
it'll
there you go. You can play for 30 seconds then. All right, good. But yeah, so it's little things like that. I'm also in charge of getting a car for us to leave in. So
ah,
that will be probably exotic of some sort,
ah.
either Audi R8 or a Lamborghini.
Well, I was going to
Uh,
rent you the wife's van, but if you don't want it,
well,
it's
as spacious as that is,
much cheaper than the little bit cheaper than the
yeah, a
Audi.
little bit. Yeah. Um, Now if one of our mutual friends had his '66 Mustang running, that would be a good one to leave in.
Ah.
But that thing hadn't
Hey,
ran
my
in
brother's got an old Ford.
two
You
and
could
a half
ask him.
decades. That Mustang ain't running 2.5 decades. So,
Yeah, my
uh,
brother Timmy, he might give you a little deal on his F-150.
yeah, I'm sure he'd give me a deal. Um, I know your brother. No, no, no. I probably will go exotic because I can rent it on the Turo app. Because I've actually used that app multiple times.
Hmm.
Shameless plug for them. Where you rent somebody else's car.
They're not a
Um,
sponsor, by the way, but we would
they
take
are
them if
not a
they
sponsor,
offered.
but I'm recommending them because the rental car industry right now is, it's the same as it's always been. You reserve a car, and then there may be one there may be not.
Hmm.
Whereas this one, you know which car you're getting. You meet the people, you do the little exchange. Sometimes you don't even meet them. Sometimes they leave the key somewhere. I've probably rented 12 cars from them now.
Hmm.
From people, I should say,
Yeah.
including last weekend while mine was in the shop. So
You know, can I just take a slight sidetrack
Yeah.
on
Oh
that and
yeah.
just
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
that to me, it's a shame that somebody hasn't figured out how to do rental cars the same way you might do a rent a bike. Like when you're in the city and they have like, little bikes and you
They
put
do.
$5 in the machine and you just take
Zipcar.
off.
Yeah.
It'd be
There's
kind of nice
Zipcar.
if, is it,
There's Zipcar and companies like that with an app where you just
mhm.
go to the place where they're parked and you
Oh,
scan the
really?
app. Yeah.
I mean, is that prolific or is it just like in one little area you can only find
I mean,
that?
it's mostly urban areas,
Yeah.
Um, there's companies like that. I don't know if Zipcar exists anymore, but it's companies like that.
It would just be cool, like, if there was a company that had, like, thousands of these, like, it could be, just something simple, and they keep them at parks, and you go to, "Oh gosh, I gotta go find a car because blah, 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 they gotta go to the airport, I wanna be able to drive it down to the airport," so you just go to the park, and if they got one available, they could just instead you gotta go to a rental car company, and they're gonna make you sign your life away, and you're gonna pay, $200, blah, 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 I'm just saying it'd be nice if it was a lot easier, and if,
Yeah.
we didn't have all the insurance and whatever stuff that was in the
Yeah.
way.
I know.
Anyways. Well,
Yeah.
well, Jason, I'm sure you'll keep us updated. And when we have our next podcast in June, you can give us an update. No, I'm kidding. We'll have more than that by hopefully, we'll have more
Yeah.
podcasts before June.
Oh yeah.
That was the other thing I said the other day is that I'm hoping to try to stick with, at the very minimum, one podcast a month and try to get at least two in a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we're feeling frisky, we can try to get in 3 or 4. But you got to keep the content rolling. Keep the content. So how was see how we're doing on time? How was oh, did you have anything else you wanted to expound on
No, no, no.
about
That's
any
it.
stuff?
No.
Okay. Um, how was 2022 for you, Jason? Any look backs on it? Oh, by the way, before I forget to mention, sorry folks, we usually like to have a little Christmas show. Of course, we've only been on the air. We'll be on the air 2 years in May, by the way.
Wow.
We did not have a Christmas show this year. I usually like to have a Christmas show just to talk about Christmas and all things Christmas. We didn't do it this year. Sorry. But how was your any highlights, summaries of 2022 for you, Jason?
I mean, obviously getting engaged. That was good.
I forget that was last year. Yeah.
I've had now 3 jobs in 1 year, technically. So that's a little strange.
Yeah.
That hadn't happened to me in a long time.
2 cars at
Um,
least, right?
yeah. Um, yeah, got rid of an Audi S6 V10, and bought a Mini Cooper, John Cooper Works edition. Um, then yeah, left the company I was at for 6 years with the promise of more money from another company. Who only kept me on for 6 weeks and then said they couldn't afford me. And that was almost 30 grand more a year. And then went a long time without a job and finally got into another freight forwarding company. And it's been great.
Mhm.
Yeah, other than that, just chugging along. Got to go see what was it, Cheryl Crow, which who cares? And then Lionel Richie and Billy Joel. That concert was
I didn't know you
great.
went to that one. How was that?
That was it was excellent, man. Lionel Richie
I was about to say I would like to see
stole
Lionel one
the
year.
show. I mean, obviously Billy Joel's amazing,
Right.
and he still got it. But Lionel Richie, man, he was high energy,
Yeah.
great stage show, just very entertaining.
He's one of my favorites for sure.
I couldn't contain myself. There was 2 ladies down there dancing, and I was like dancing kind of in the row with me with them. And my fiance's parents are not the most, outwardly like they're not gonna break out into a dance like that. And they were looking at me like, "Whoa!" I said, "Well, that's my mom." And
Who's this guy?
so mom would have been dancing right there. Mom would have gone down the road with him and started dancing. So,
Hey, well, let me say this. I saw Lionel. I think it was Axios, that channel. The only time I've ever watched a live performance from him, and I was amazed by it. I was like, that was I mean, I recorded it and watched it one night, and I was very impressed with how good he was live. I was like, I'd like to see him live one day. This is probably
yeah,
like 10 years, probably a 10, 15-year-old concert, but I'm
yeah,
sure he's still just as good.
he's really great.
And we saw, I saw Billy Joel with you was that 7-ish years ago, 8 years ago, maybe?
Oh, I forgot you went with me once.
That was the Truist Park here in Atlanta. Their opening event was that, wasn't it? Was it
Oh
not?
yeah, we had the very top row. I remember that.
I mean,
We
even
picked.
up there though, it was really good.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that
Go
was
ahead.
good. He did a whole like he did his thing where he had the audience choose between two songs every now and then, and
Hmm.
that he did that. He didn't do that at this concert, but he played just as almost everything. Um, but the man has way too many hits. If you want to hear a deep cut from him, he has to
Right.
throw those in. So, um,
I forget the name of the song. Moving Out. Is it Daniel
yeah,
something song?
yep.
It's one of those moving that to me was his best live song that night. I thought he did a really good job on that song live. Um, I don't know. Yeah, that would have been a good one. Did you see anybody else last year that was good? I
Uh,
haven't been to a concert personally in a while.
no, I saw. Gosh, I can't remember who I saw last year. Um,
Gotta keep a log, Jason. Getting old.
I know. I saw, I saw many tribute bands. Um, man, no, I can't. I
And
don't.
Departed. Do you think are they your favorite? Do you think they do the best of the tribute bands out there?
Departure.
That's what I said. Departure. Yeah.
They're good. Yeah, they're probably one of the higher end ones. They're a
Did I
local
say
band.
Departed?
Yes, you did. I was like, that's a little morbid. They play nothing but dead people's songs. No, that would actually be a good cover band.
With the
But
Grateful Dead.
right. Um, I actually saw a Grateful Dead tribute. Actually.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, Departure's good. They're a local Journey tribute band, but they actually tour the whole country now.
hmm
Hence why I can't afford them for my wedding.
I mean, Australian Pink Floyd might be the best that I've seen that I
Yeah,
can think of.
yeah. I
They're
think
very good.
our local Pink Floyd tribute is great.
I don't know that I've seen them.
Interstellar Echoes. You get a chance to see them; they are great.
Hmm.
Musically, they are spot on.
Brit Floyd looks really good. I've seen them on PBS.
Yeah, you would expect them to be good. They're from Britain, you know.
Well, I think
Um,
Brit Floyd is actually I guess the guy. I don't know if they're all exclusively from Britain, but I think they are a Australian. Pink Floyd broke up, and I think one of the main
uh,
guys left and
yeah,
created that one.
because we got to understand we're never going to see a real Pink Floyd concert again.
Right. At best, you
Um,
might see David Gilmour or
yeah, or
what's his
Roger
face.
Waters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and the tickets would be hideous anyway.
Oh gosh, yeah. I've heard the Roger Waters just for the optics alone is
Yeah,
worth
I've heard
doing
his show
once.
is really good. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I did watch a little bit of that on YouTube, and no offense to Roger Waters, I'd love to meet him, talk to him and stuff, but
Yeah.
he did not sound the same from what I could tell.
Well, we know how many people we know don't sound the same. Robert Plant, look at him.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But Robert Plant embraces his new sound and does things like his albums with Alison Krauss, which sound amazing.
Right.
Um, so for that matter, Led Zeppelin won't happen either. So,
Yeah, I think they let that window go by when they did the their
Celebration Day.
Celebration Day, which to me I thought was
That
good. I mean,
was
that's good enough,
that was a
you
good
know.
reunion to me.
Yeah.
With Jason Bonham on the
They
drums,
gave they gave the fans what they'd always wanted. I mean,
because Jason Bonham's great too.
and
Jason Bonham's really good.
from what I understand, the band would do it. It's just Robert Plant doesn't want to, basically.
Yeah, which I get because
So
he can't hit the notes anymore, and it's not the same. And I respect that. Lord,
you
to
gotta
me,
admit
one of
though, that's really, I mean, that is really passing by an extreme cash grab there.
yeah.
You
He
know,
just doesn't. It tells you he really loves the music.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like he understands. Let's not kid ourselves. They're making enough money. Just
yeah.
just existing, they make money.
But I mean, a
Um,
worldwide tour from them, they'd probably bring in $1 billion. I mean,
yeah,
my
but they're
gosh.
older. They're like to me. I think they're probably just to that age where they're like, you know what? We're
Yeah.
not. We don't want to be the Rolling Stones where
Oh yeah. No, well,
where
I wouldn't
we're
expect anybody to
we're
do that.
touring until we get embalmed. You know.
Yeah. No,
Um.
I just meant like one final stamp.
Yeah.
We're just doing this for the
Um.
fans type deal. Not the Rolling Stones. We're doing it for the fans until we, you know.
Till we all keel over because good grief.
Yeah.
Kudos to them, but I love some Rolling Stones, but
Yeah.
I don't love the Rolling Stones now. Talk about not being able to sound the same. But for that matter, like a Beach Boys, that thing, Beach Boys obviously can't hit. the same notes anymore, but they've adapted well.
Although the guy from Jefferson Starship, what's his name? Man, that guy can still hit it.
Yeah.
The guy that sings Sarah.
Yeah. True. He can still hit it. I mean, there are those rare ones where they can still belt it out. I mean, for the aforementioned Lionel Richie. I mean,
Paul Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, just think about that. How many people can still do it, which is great. There's like think about people from our childhood, that were always good. That you just wonder what's going on with them now. Like, they're older and
right.
These days you just wait to hear about, that announcement. I don't mean to be morbid, but it's just how it is. I mean, we've had people from our high school, college years die, so.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But people like Ronnie Millsap, we had, what's his name from Alabama die, which was rough. That was,
lead singer.
No, Randy's still alive. It's, I can't remember his name, but anyway, Jeff Cook. Yeah, he died. That was tough. I was hoping.
Did I hear Eddie Rabbit died recently? Maybe not.
No, he died a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was hoping that Lionel Richie would do "Deep River Woman" as a tribute to him, because he did that song with Alabama, "Deep River Woman." But it's just funny. Like it just makes you go, okay, I don't really care how they sound anymore. I want to go see them, because you don't know how long they're going to be around. And
right.
We're getting to that age where some of our favorites from when we were childhood are in their 60s, 70s, 80s. I mean, who would ever guess that Sammy Hagar is in his 70s? I mean, you look at that guy, he does not look like he's in his 70s. I mean, he's, say what you want about the old sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but there are people that are his age that look a lot older.
He doesn't seem like a guy that stresses himself out much either, though. Like,
no, and I think it is.
What is it? Lucky Go something.
Yeah, Happy Go Lucky.
Happy Go Lucky. There we go.
But yeah, I mean, that is true. Your mental state can manifest it in your physical. But yeah, I don't know. I think I had 3 opportunities to see Prince in my life, and I never went, and I never forgive myself for that.
Oh, I didn't realize that. For some reason, I thought you'd seen him before.
No, I never did go. Even including his last concert. Period.
I had an executive at work. One of my boss's bosses. She said that she went to that last concert he did in Atlanta.
Yeah, my friend Mark did too, and he's the one that invited me, and I told him I couldn't go because I couldn't afford it.
She was a huge Prince fan.
I should have afforded it, Luckily, I saw Chris Cornell's last concert here with Soundgarden. I paid $85 for Nosebleed in the Fox for that one, but then he died 2 weeks later. So, that was a good move on my part.
Speaking of, how about the old 99X in Atlanta returning?
Oh yeah, there's some news.
I suppose we could do
oh my gosh,
a whole episode about that, but
yeah, man, that I mean, I went to lunch that day.
Now, for those at home, Jason is a 99X expert, in my opinion.
Just call me a 99 expert. That's fine.
Aficionado of the station.
Well, it was my channel. It was my channel when my silly pop days of Power 99 ended, and 99X started with Smells Like Teen Spirit, that first song they played, and never looked back. And they had many iterations over the years where they tried to change. Now they aren't on the same frequency, unfortunately. I wish they were still on 99.7, which is the strongest radio frequency in Atlanta, by the way.
Really?
The most powerful. But Rock 100.5 went away, and they became 99X. And it is the old 99X. It's not, we're going to play a bunch of new stuff. It is the old 99X. They'll play some new stuff here and there, but really rare, and I love that. And they play some of the progressive stuff from the 80s, too, which I like.
I
don't know.
And some old staff back on.
Axel was on in the afternoon. I'm like, holy cow. There's no Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy in the morning, just because I don't think they wanted to do it again.
The morning does morning not have Barnes? Morning has somebody. No.
You know what? They're playing the best of is what they're doing.
Right.
They're replaying it. Now I did talk to Southside Steve because he was at one of the venues I go to here in Atlanta, 37 Main. And he was promoting his bourbon or whiskey. Yeah, come on, whiskey. And I just asked him, I said, what are you doing? He said, well, I might go to the river. He said, but 99X actually would be a good idea. He said, I could do it. He said, because we don't have right now any hope of a 96 Rock coming back. He said the river's kind of taken that role. Because I have noticed they played a little bit heavier stuff on the river, recently. But anyway, so I know we're about to end up here. So it's been a good thing. 99X is I was kind of tearing up driving to lunch that day when they started up, and I got to hear 99X again. And they had the same tagline promo things and all that. I'm like, oh, this takes me back to high school.
Yeah, I listened to it during work one day, and it was a little surreal to hear it all.
I know. I was like, whoa, this is crazy because it sounds exactly the same.
Like, do you remember what year they went off air?
Which time?
The last time
when they lost 99.7 was in 2008, I think.
Okay. So not too long ago.
But... And it became that crap that's there now. Q100.
So a few years back, but not too long.
And then they tried to come back. They tried to stay online, and they tried to come back on a couple different frequencies that were really low. Now this is the strongest frequency they've had since then. So
yeah,
hopefully it'll say. And they even got the old call letters of WNNX back. So, from the FCC, which is good.
Well,
but anyway.
All right. Well, we're gonna round it out here. I said on my podcast last week that 2023 looking to have a few good episodes of interviews. I gotta get Jason boots on the ground to find me some more people.
Yep.
He's going to try to get Southside Steve. We're hoping maybe he can send him a message or something. He needs, maybe you could friend him on Facebook, and try to get a few other little things going here or there. So anyways, well, we'll round it out. And like I said at the beginning, if you stayed this long, you're part of the fam, and we want you to like, subscribe, and share. And because hey, like I said in the podcast, if me and Jason are rich beyond our dreams, if we got enough support, maybe we quit our jobs. Maybe we just work on this all the time. Maybe we just do research and have fun with this. Who knows?
Yeah, come on.
Jason, you, my friend. Never mind. I can't think of a line. Anyway, all right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us, and maybe we'll be back next week. You never know. You have to keep looking out on the airwaves. Have a good one, and we'll see you later.